Hello, Navy-Travy followers and family. We are here at 9 Mile Canyon. Welcome to 9 Mile Canyon. Located in eastern Utah is a beautiful canyon that provides visitors a window into the ancient past, as well as stories from the early American settlers. In our production, you'll experience ancient rock art, observe the remains and history of early settlers, and enjoy a wonderful camping destination. Going up 9 Mile Canyon, there's a higher concentration of petroglyphs in this canyon than there is anywhere else in North America. So we should have our hands full trying to find some of these. It's really pretty up here. It's really green. You wouldn't know it looking out here. If you look out up there, see all those cliffs up there? Those are called the Book Cliffs.
And why are these called the Book Cliffs? Does anybody know? Question mark?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Here we are, heading up 9 Mile Canyon, although it's not 9 miles, it's 24 miles to get to where we are going to be camping tonight. But this is the starting of the camp road that we're going to be making our way up to. 9 Mile Canyon, Dugout Canyon, petroglyphs, blue skies, a little windy today. Take you on our adventure tomorrow.
Good fortune for visitors of 9 Mile Canyon is the campground located at the 9 Mile Ranch. The ranch is located at mile marker 24. That's 24 miles from the turnoff in Wellington, Utah. We will come back after exploring the canyon and introduce you to Carla Mead and her family's very welcoming campground. This is where we're going to start our home base, our home camp, so to speak, and we're going to go approximately 2.6 miles to our first pictograph or petroglyph. All right, so we've arrived at what is called the Owl Panel Turnoff. There's a nice parking spot up here. It's a quarter-mile hike up here, and they say it's 100-yard long, one of the best examples of rock art in the canyon. So let's go take a look at this.
This is a special expedition for me, Michelle, and Navy-Travy, because we've got my mother and father with us. Dad's back in the Jeep. We got my brother-in-law Randy and my sister Jill. Wow. What do you think of this, Mom?
This is really pretty, isn't it? Oh, there's a whole bunch more over here.
Look. Owls. Owl. I'd say that's a bear paw. I don't know what that is. I kind of hate to decipher that one.
Continuing on to our next location, Carla at the 9 Mile Ranch had advised us about a cave, Ben's Cave, that is located right on the side of the road that very few people find. The contents of it are pictographs, not petroglyphs.
Hey, we found out what we were looking for. One of the things is Ben's Cave. This was actually Ben Mead's hideout when he was a little kid. And follow me. If we hadn't been told about this, we would have missed it, which we did, so we came back.
Carla Mead
Carla Mead
from the 9 Mile Ranch told us about this.
So, can you imagine coming clear back under here?
Let's see if it's going to be light enough to get a...
There's a little bit. I'll take a picture.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not far enough in there. Look at that. This is what you call pictographs. Pictograph instead of petroglyphs. They're painted.
Right.
So, what I'm kind of thinking is, consider its location. One of the indigenous Fremont people decided to climb under there and paint while it was raining outside here.
We would love to show you more panels and beautiful rock art in 9 Mile Canyon, but there's just not enough time in the day. But there's one rock panel everybody should see, the Great Hunt panel, located at the end of the canyon.
Okay, so this is actually one of the most recognized and one of the strongest forms of rock art there is here. And
You're doing good. Just want to come over a little bit this way so you can trip over that rock. Good. Hey, look everybody, I got my mom here. My brother-in-law and my sister. We're all walking to the Great Hunt.
Unbelievable. When do you think it was?
Hey.
I'd like to know what
Look
year.
how high the water was against those trees.
My mom and family had some people that perished down south in flash flood many, many moons ago.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is neat. That must be a whole family in their herd. Who knows what?
Yeah, it says right there.
Oh, it tells you about it.
The story of 9 Mile Canyon does not end with the interesting rock art of the ancient Fremont people. The canyon was also home to the early settlers of the American West. To our surprise, we discovered that the remains of many of their homesteads were located throughout the canyon.
besides having the highest concentration of petroglyphs in North America, this area has a unique history about the early settlers that came down through here and homestead, because it's a very fertile valley through the canyon that's fed by 9 Mile Creek, constant water supply, so they could grow their agriculture. This route was founded or discovered by the people that the army that wanted to get to and from Price, Utah to Fort Duchesne for supplies. So they followed an old Indian trail and they started this. And a year after the fort was built, the 9th Cavalry of what is called the Buffalo Soldiers came down and graded the first or dug out the first road down through here. You've heard of the Buffalo Soldiers, I'm sure. Bob Marley's got a really cool song called Buffalo Soldiers. I was just reading this morning, the way the Buffalo Soldiers got their name is when the Indians, and it was, excuse me, I'm not telling you, it was an all-black infantry squad, 9th Infantry. And when the native Indians first saw the black soldiers, they'd never seen black people before, of course, and they were so interested by their curly hair that they nicknamed them Buffalo Soldiers because it reminded them of the curly hair on buffalo. Now there's a pretty cool, interesting aspect or fact right there. So where's our first stop we're heading to today, Michelle?
So we are going to head down to a homestead. It's the Don Johnston homestead. Okay, this is the original homestead of Don Johnston and his family, who settled here in about 1896. Their first log home burned down, leaving only a stone chimney, which is over to the right, that you can see today. And Don Johnston and his wife were good people, and despite raising their own family in the 1890s, they adopted a Paiute Indian girl named Martha Brown. When she was a child, a rival Indian tribe raided their camp. Her parents were killed, and she was taken captive. A few years later, a group of Indians stopped at the Johnston homestead and offered to sell the Indian girl they had captured. Don Johnston traded a pig for her. So part of the big business here in 9 Mile Canyon is cattle. And most everybody ran cattle through this canyon, and here's some remains of a corral on the Johnston Ranch where they held their cattle.
Okay, so yeah, this looks like just a country road going up 9 Mile Canyon. It's beautiful. There's deer out in the pasture. But if you look right off here on the left, you're going to see this first one. See that metal pole? Here's another one right here. This is the remains of the telegraph system
that the Buffalo soldiers built between Fort Duchesne and Price in 1887. And here's one more up on the hill, in between those rocks. So that pole was put there in 1887.
Okay, so we just showed you the telegraph poles. Now we're going to show you the telegraph office.
That was the telegraph office. So this is a really interesting piece of history in the canyon. That right there is the oldest building in the canyon. It was built in 1885, I believe. Coming across, you can see some old homesteads. If you'll notice the old vehicles around, it was because one of the last residents lived here was the contractor that graded the road. But of more interest is that home right there. That cabin was the home of Montana Bob, who was a contracted mountain lion hunter for the federal government to keep the mountain lion population in check. Hello, Navy Travy family. We're at the 9 Mile Ranch up 9 Mile Canyon, and this is Carla Mead. Hello, Carla.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Your place is wonderful here. We've spent a couple of nights, 3 nights down in the campground, and I'm going to have Carla give us a little lowdown on what's going on here at this ranch. Is this still a operating ranch?
Yes, it is.
Cattle?
Cattle, yes, my brother runs cattle on here, and the cattle is what helped pay for our ranch. And
Yeah,
so we're on 1,000 acres.
So you're on 1,000 acres here? Oh my heck, that is cool. And how long have you had the ranch in your family?
About 26 years.
About 26 years.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
My dad grew up the canyon most of his whole life, so running the cattle range during
Uh-huh.
the summer, and just loved 9 Mile Canyon. So,
Yeah. Wow, that's neat. And so did you grow up here yourself in the canyon?
No, we grew up in Wellington, live
Uh-huh.
in Wellington, but we come out here a lot of times. So.
Awesome. Well, you guys have something really special here. Carla's going to take us down. They've got some really cool cabins down here, and these cabins were at one time original homesteads
Yes. Uh-huh.
of the 9 Mile Canyon itself.
Yes, they were located down the canyon, and there were other families that owned them and stuff, and my dad knew most of them, and they let him tear it down, numbered it by logs, and then bought it back and numbered it and rebuilt it back up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we have 3 of them down there.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go take a look at one of them?
Sure.
Which one would you like to show us?
I will show you, I don't care, the Al Thompson cabin.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's head on down there and take a peek.
Okay. And this is just a little old Thompson
This
cabin.
is like, right, this is like the real deal. I mean, very small, just enough to get out of the weather.
Oh, yeah. So this one, got a picture of the guy up there.
Oh, do we have a picture of Mr. Thompson?
Yep, right up
Right there.
Mm-hmm. This one's C4. Just a little one-room cabin.
Nice to meet you. Scruffy looking dude. Well, look how fun this is.
And this has got a little wood burning, so just one of those little fireplace.
This is the one I want to rent. This one feels good. Yeah. All right.
So this is the latest cabin we're building right now. This is called actually the old saloon that was down Nutter's Ranch.
This was the saloon?
This was the saloon. This was owned by the Box. If you look at the history of Box, he had this saloon down there, the Nutter's Ranch. And so
Please tell me
they've
you're
had-
going to turn it into another saloon.
They've had it in. Actually, this is going to be our museum and history of
Nice.
the canyon. We want to put pictures and history of the canyon
Yep.
that people want to learn, and a store and an office. So I want this to be the office and store. And so,
Would you be offended just out of respect of what the building is next time I come here, if I got a little jug of whiskey, I hide it? And I'm the
you
only
bring
one
your
who
own
knows
drink,
where it's
come
at, and
in.
I come in. I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bar.
Yep. we're gonna have a little party here.
A little party, yeah, in the bar.
In the bar.
That is so cool. This is going to
And
be
there's
your
a
museum.
history of a couple people that got killed in here.
In there.
Over at poker fights.
Right.
Yeah.
9 Mile Ranch is a splendid place to call home during your visit to the canyon, with a good source of spring water, public showers, and an RV dump station. Each campsite has a table and a fire ring for your family to gather around while exploring this interesting area. For more information, you will find their link in our description below. This has been quite an experience, hanging out in 9 Mile Canyon, 40 miles of canyon actually. Highest concentration of rock art anywhere in North America. It's literally on the sides of the road everywhere. And we came up here just specifically thinking that we're going to find petroglyphs, but we had no idea the rich early settler history, pioneer days.
1800s.
Yeah, the very unique history about this place. So hope you enjoyed our show to 9 Mile Canyon, and we're going to go down the road and find us another story.